Hot damn. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. Today we're taking a look at this article from the Game Post. Destiny's in a little bit of a rough spot at the moment. I feel it. I know a lot of you guys feel it as well. So I wanted to take a look at this, read it through with you, give you guys my thoughts on it, and just kind of see how this goes. So titled, "It Sucks That We've Been Unable to Build Positive Momentum. Bungie admits Destiny 2 missteps and says upcoming roadmap will help rebuild trust." Right now, there's not really a lot of trust in the community. There's a lot of bugs, most bad, some good, and just the content that's been given into the game, most of it Eververse armor, one crappy story mission, the event quests that give you an enhancement core or enhancement prism once you complete it. It's just kind of pointless. Like, why is it there? But we'll get into the article. So after weeks of backlash, Bungie admits Destiny's 2 post Edge of Fate missteps and promises a roadmap to rebuild trust, starting with the Iron Banner armor changes and future content plans. This right there, that was... They said we were getting new Iron Banner armor, and then they put it in Eververse and gave us old Iron Banner armor, which the old stuff is cool, but it should have come back in addition to the new stuff. Does have that Warlock set that everyone really likes. I know a lot of people like the Titan helmet as well, but anyways. Since the launch of Edge of Fate, things haven't gone exactly smooth for Destiny 2. What should have been a fresh start for the game turned into a rough ride, with players voicing growing frustration over bugs, balancing issues, and controversial monetization decisions. The bugs are always annoying. I feel like I'm fairly lucky when it comes to bugs. I typically are not able to hop on right when something new releases, so I typically don't experience a lot of the bugs that a lot of people do, though this time around we did experience a little bit of it. My game's been crashing a lot lately, which is completely random, and it's never done that before, so that's been annoying. Balancing issues for sure. Just the stat rework changes weren't balanced well. They weren't put in correctly. Obviously, the monetization, like giving us the Taken armor set, which we've been asking for years and years, and making it only purchasable, like that stuff. Don't get me wrong, put it as purchasable. I don't care that you sell stuff and make money that way, but it needs to also include good armor or a way to earn that armor through gameplay. It needs to be both. Steam reviews for the expansion reflect the mood. The Edge of Fate currently sits at an overwhelming negative, with only 10% positive reviews out of 358. This is a small pool number, but that's still really bad. The first major update, Ash and Iron, was hit even harder, with players calling it the worst update Bungie's ever released. I don't know about worst. 2 tokens and a blue was pretty bad back in Curse of Osiris, but this has been pretty lackluster for sure. Giving us this new armor set, which is just a recolored set of, I think, of the tech set armor, which just reworked archetype perks, is mid, but I don't know. Alongside of the technical problems and frustration bugs like broken progression system, that does feel really bad. Players were also unhappy about the game's reward structure. In a blog post released shortly after Renegade's reveal stream, Bungie confirmed that the Iron Banner mode will get an incredibly cool new set of armor. We got a rehashed version of this same set of armor we got years ago. Though it was a different color, it had a different paint job, and they put the other armor set in Eververse. That's since obviously been changed, though there is a bug where visually it doesn't show that it's the new armor unless you equipped it or inspect it, but the icon shows the old armor set. So that'll get fixed whenever they decide to fix it. However, shortly after the update, players find that the new armor set was actually a recolored armor set from 7 years ago. Solid job, Bungie. Solid job. Things escalated when the artist shared concept art of the new Destiny 2 armor set that has been prominently featured in Iron Banner. Fans quickly noticed that the final in-game version of the armor appeared in the Eververse store, sold for real money, and didn't feature the Iron Banner sigil. So yeah, they basically took off the Iron Banner decals on it and then slapped on something different, threw it in Eververse, and said, hey, buy this instead of here's your Iron Banner set, which is such a bad move. I mean, it's good that they walked it back, but it's bad that they had to walk it back. That's something that should not have gone in to the game as is with Eververse. If you say you're going to give us something like a new Iron Banner armor set, give us the new Iron Banner set. Don't give us a re-release set from 7 years ago and call it new. So here is the armor set on screen that was released as Eververse armor, now has been walked back in his Iron Banner armor. I'm honestly not a fan necessarily of the Titan armor. I think the Hunter and the Warlock do look pretty good, so I'm glad that those are in-game right now, earnable when you're just playing Iron Banner. And there is Eruption and Control for Iron Banner, so it's nice to have the option to play and pick between whichever one you want to do. But here is this quote: "Too many bumps in the road and missteps." A little bit, guys, a little bit. Shortly after the armor change, Bungie's principal community manager, Dylan, known as DMG, replied to the frustration on Twitter, or X. The fan had asked Bungie was being fully serious about listening to feedback, pointing out to months of missteps. Dylan responded, and I quote, "It sucks that we've been unable to build positive momentum." I'm going to reread that because that was terrible. "It sucks that we've been unable to build positive momentum," he said. "Too many bumps in the road and missteps. I truly believe we are beginning to shift and head in the right direction. Roadmap to come, and I hope it helps us to rebuild trust as we move towards Renegades and beyond. Much love." Real quick before we continue on this one, we're talking about listening to feedback. I will say that it does feel more lately now than it has in the past that they are actively not just listening to the feedback, but actively making changes based upon that feedback quicker than they normally have in the past. That doesn't defend what they're doing and what they've done, but it's just acknowledging the fact that they're listening to stuff and actively making feedback as quickly as possible. Though in the past, it feels it's been, hey, let's listen. Months and months go by, then, okay, let's acknowledge this and actually do something about it. The changes do seem to be coming quicker, which is a good thing, but I just want to know in what meeting that they have these conversations and sit there and be like, you know what? We said we're going to give the people a new Iron Banner armor set, but how about we take the Iron Banner logo off, slap on something different, and then sell it to them for cash? Like what type of business model in decision making is that? Like you already made the sale of, we're giving you guys something new. There's excitement. There's something to look forward to in that. And then you pull the rug out from under us and say, just kidding. Here's this rehashed set. Like that should not have taken place in the beginning. It shouldn't have. So there's the bumps in the road are entirely their fault. And so, I mean, the missteps, like we'll see what the roadmap actually looks like and if it's going to be anything good. In a separate post from the Destiny 2 team, Bungie confirmed a roadmap is in the works. I think they did talk about that in the live stream, if I remember correctly. Maybe I'm misremembering. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments. The devs said that they're actively working on fixing progression issues for Ash and Iron, and more info is expected in this week's TWID. The progression does feel really bad. I mean, they had to walk back the nerf to solo ops that they put in there, and instead of bringing everything up to its level, it's just been like a clusterfuck of what are we doing over there? I just don't understand it. For players still sticking around, there are some new pieces of content right now around the corner. The Desert Perpetual Epic Raid is set to launch on September 27th, which was changed, causing a lot of issues amongst the raid community, because originally it was, I think, the 20th that it was supposed to release this week, but they changed it to next week. Followed by a brand new exotic mission, Warsat Heist, in October, that they really sold to us as like a huge thing with Ash and Iron. I guess sold to us is a bad word because Ash and Iron is a free update, but it did incentivize people to tune into the stream and incentivize people to play on launch day. Just to find out we're not getting this until October, which I personally don't really care. Waiting, like the axe looks cool. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun, but we'll just have to wait and see if it's even good or if they even did well with it. And we'll find out in October. I'm not too pressed about that personally. Here's this Taken armor set that I know a lot of people have bought. I have personally not bought it myself because frankly, I just don't feel like spending the money on it right now. It is really, really cool. I'll probably get it in the future. Hopefully it comes from Bright Dust with Renegades. It should. Like, this stuff would be so good if it was like it dropped in game. You would have so many people coming back into the game if you had, hey, in the Pinnacle activities or the Portal activities, there's a small chance for this armor to drop from these missions. I would be grinding the hell out of it all the time just to try to get this armor. RNG sucks. We know, I mean, it's a looter shooter. It's a pain in the ass to try to get stuff to drop for you. But instead of just like, yeah, give people the opportunity to buy something. I don't care how people spend their money. But stuff like this needs to be earnable in-game, or there needs to be an avenue in-game to whether you earn in-game currency or it just drops from activities. Like, respect the player's time by letting them play the game and earning the cosmetics for free in some form of another, rather than just spending the money. Because of course people are always going to they're going to buy it right away if they want to. I do myself when it comes to like shaders and ornaments, because frankly, I see that I'm like, ooh, cool, shiny, I want this. Knowing in 2 months time, it's going to be available for Bright Dust, I still will spend the money on little cosmetics like that, like $5 here, just to have that shader before, right when it drops. But when it comes to armor like this, if this was earnable, I would be grinding that activity and helping others grind that activity so much just to get it to drop for us. But instead, it's fork out, what, $20, $40, $60 probably for all 3 of these armor sets, which, yeah, they're going to make some money on it. But at the same time, if it's earnable in-game, whether in-game currency or droppable, you're going to have a higher player count because people are going to be grinding for that. And there's also, at the same time, going to be people spending real money for it. That's not going to change. To me, that just seems like a smarter business play, because you're increasing your player count, which Bungie's going to want, but also you're getting money from the people that are just, frankly, don't want to wait, and they're just going to buy it anyway. So those people are going to buy it regardless. But if you give the people the opportunity to get it for free or through their own time, you will have more players wanting to do that than just getting pissed off because they have to buy it. I don't know, Bungie. What are you guys thinking? It's clear Bungie's trying to repair the damage, but after months of frustration, many fans are wanting to see if the studio can truly follow through this time. What do you think? Can Bungie win back the community's trust with the changes, or is it too little too late? I think for a lot of people, it is too little too late. I know in my community personally, we have a lot of people that are waiting till Renegades to come back into the game, which is, I get it. They want to do the story, whatever new missions and stuff come along with that. They don't really care too much about the in-between. The reclaim activity is not that good. It's repackaged overthrow. I feel like it's not like they kind of sold it to us as a brand new activity, even though it's really not. And it just doesn't feel that good. It doesn't seem that it's like that rewarding or that much worth my time. I'd rather run, solo ops or play PvP. Or on top of that, there's some other stuff too that isn't even just this frustration. It's in game too, alongside like the Eververse issues, the shitty Ashen Iron update that we did get that just feels extremely unfun to play. The activity is not that great. The rewards aren't that great. Them adding stuff into the portal, which is really cool. I think the portal has a lot of good to it. It just needs to be more fleshed out. And I want to talk a little bit about why the portal feels so bad. So if you go into the actual portal, there's a lot, right? I like the event page. I like how they've structured this entirely. It's extremely smooth and feels seamless to play. When it comes to rewards, I don't have to go to the tower anymore. I can just claim it from here. Same with the title. Everything is done right here. I like the event page. That is done really well. But then you go to the portal. Cool. Heffin's Vengeance, the final boss for Warlord's Ruin, currently has Mint Retrograde featured on it, which is awesome. But the problem is when you go and click this and you can customize it, right? We go down over here to this bottom one. So it's only portal rewards, which a lot of people are probably don't know where that's at or haven't even cared to play it. You can put on the classic collector, which will give you normal dungeon drops, which is nice because you can get like indebted kindness from this, right? But it doesn't have seasonal power or gear tiers. What's the point of doing these old activities without having gear tiers? Like, you can't craft it. It's always going to drop essentially as a tier 1 in terms of just overall perks in it. You can't enhance anything. I get, and I'm not a game dev, I'm not going to pretend to be one, but I'm sure there is a very good reason as to why every single thing in the game is not tiered loot and redone. I'm sure that probably takes a tremendous amount of time and money to put together. And I'm hoping that in the future that changes and this stuff does become in-game. But the problem I see with this is right now, this specific thing is free to players, I think, for the next week, where you can play the dungeons in their entirety for free. Bungie, these dungeons are no longer relevant in terms of power progression. You can't do them to get increased power rewards. You can't do them for tiered weapons or tiered armor. Make that stuff free for every single person. The new dungeon isn't going to be paid for. It's you guys changed that with the Edge of Fate release in the Year of Prophecy. Go back and make all of these dungeons free. There's zero reason. I mean, maybe for Sunder Doctrine and Vesper's Host, maybe keep those because those are the two newest. But all of these dungeons have been in the game for a very long time. We have Warlord's Ruin. We have this dungeon, Duality, and then what's the other one that's in here? Pit of Heresy? Why would I want to pay for Pit of Heresy that only drops loot from the moon? Zero reason to go and grind any of these apart from just a change of scenery. Yeah, you can do the Vengeance relatively quickly by yourself or with a decent fire team, especially right now with some of the bugs in the game. But this stuff, just make the damn dungeons free, Bungie. There's zero reason not to. Unless you have insane metrics of people actually buying these dungeons still, because there's no good loot that can come from it. Everything is mid in comparison to like all of the tiered stuff that we're getting with all these enhanced perks on it. There's just no reason, personally, in my opinion. I'm still playing the game. I'm still making builds for everybody, but today I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about just my frustrations when it comes to the game. And there's other things I didn't touch on as well that I still find irritating, but kind of wanted to shed some light on this article, this topic, and just see what you guys think in the community, where your frustrations lie. Do you guys still have hope? Are you still playing on a semi-regular or regular basis? Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of the potential hope of earning back trust, because right now it does feel really like it's not there with a lot of people. I frankly I like the mechanics of the game. I like the build crafting. That's why I'm still here. And I like creating stuff for everybody. I find enjoyment in that, but I do feel a lot of the frustrations that you guys are feeling as well. So we'll wait and see to what this roadmap actually looks like before we kind of cast any judgment on that front. But we'll see. That's all I can really say is we'll see what happens with it. Thank you guys for coming and checking this one out. Feel free to leave a like, comment down below what you guys think of the current state of Destiny, but let's keep it civil, of course. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.